My name is Erin Casey, and I'm the director of the Writers' Rooms. Tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about our organization, the things that we do there, our roots, how we help our community, and also different ways that you can get involved if you're interested in being one of our writers. Up here we have our website, and I also have cards up front and a sign-up sheet, which you're welcome to grab, sign up for at the end of the session. So about the rooms, our mission is the Writers' Rooms creates a community that fosters a sense of companionship and support among writers. We do this by hosting weekly gatherings, our rooms, and organizing social readings, leading author signing events, and offering publications as well. Writers are notoriously lacking in a structured community. The Writers' Rooms endeavors to bring together writers of all skill sets, incomes, races, genders, and abilities who are searching for that community. Essentially, we are writers helping writers. A little bit about our history. So the Writers' Rooms began in 2015 under the Iowa Writers' House and the founder, Andrea Wilson. We had a simple mission in mind to create a free, accessible community to Iowan writers. The Violet Realm, our first room, and our sci-fi fantasy room, which I lead, started it all. For 2 years, we incubated under the Iowa Writers' House and learned about our community and what we needed to foster creative minds. It became apparent that if we were going to support our writers, it would be through a community and crowdsourced endeavor. We also wanted to focus on making our events free so that, those who were just graduating from college or those who were having issues with money, they could still come and find a community and learn from us without paying a ton of money. So in 2018, we spread our wings and we launched our organization. Since we started, the Writers' Rooms has run for almost 4 years. We incorporated as a nonprofit corporation. We've opened 7 rooms in a mix of genre and free writing opportunities. We've opened rooms in Cedar Rapids, North Liberty, Coralville, Iowa City, as well as in some local businesses, and we're hoping to open up in even more. We've hosted Imagine Other Worlds with Authors, Iowa, our large author signing event for 3 consecutive years this November. We've published 3 anthologies with a 4th in the works, and these are all works based on our community. And we've held literary sessions at Icon, including a teen workshop, which generally centers around world building. Community-wise, additionally, we've built relationships with several local libraries in the corridor, writing organizations, as well as with UNESCO. We've responded to community requests through opening LGBTQIA rooms, all genre rooms, and also genre-specific rooms. We've held multiple open mic and social gathering events, both at the library and in local communities. And we've held a presence at several local festivals and conventions, including Iowa City and Cedar Rapids Pride with our LGBTQI room, and at Icon. So here's a little bit about the rooms themselves, as well as our group of concierges, the people who lead the rooms. We have 7 different rooms. First is the Parchment Lounge, which is a free write room that provides space for writers to work on their craft. They meet over at Sanctuary Pub in Iowa City, and they're actually meeting right now and working on writing together. This is more of our social group. Writers will come to talk with one another, to brainstorm, and to also just work on their writing. The Parchment Lounge is still meeting in person. They started meeting a couple months ago once restrictions started to lift. The Cedar Room is our free write room in Cedar Rapids that generally will have some fiction lessons or publishing lessons, but is also a place where you can work and get your writing done. This is usually held at the Cedar Rapids Public Library, but due to COVID, it is currently online on Zoom. The Rainbow Room is a safe space for our LGBTQIA writers. So LGBTQIA writers, allies, are all welcome to come and write. We just want to establish that this is a safe place. They usually meet at the Iowa City Public Library, Room B, but again, COVID, we are meeting virtually. The Violet Realm is our fantasy and science fiction room, which is the one that I lead. We also meet here at Iowa City Public Library. We are currently meeting on Zoom. We hope to get back into person soon. The Lightless Corridor is our horror and mystery room, which meets over at Critical Hit Games in Iowa City. They are meeting in person. Critical Hit Games requires vaccination cards for anyone who attends. The Golden Attic is our poetry room, which typically meets in North Liberty Public Library. They are currently on Zoom as well. And then Scarlet Boudoir is our 18-plus romance room. They are usually at the Cedar Rapids Public Library, but again, because they are not holding public rooms right now, we are currently on Zoom. We keep our website updated, and we also send out monthly emails that talk about where we're meeting, what we'll be discussing, and any Zoom links that need to be provided. So we provide a mix of literary lessons created by our concierges and members of our community, plus time to write. In the beginning, our goal was for each room to hold an hour-long session or discussion, followed by an hour of writing. But our community also wanted space to socialize and focus on writing alone without being worried about genre. So the Parchment Lounge was born. Our community also wanted rooms in various locations, which is why we opened them up in Cedar Rapids, North Liberty, and Coralville. This is a bit of what our monthly schedule looks like. So this is the month of October. So as you can see, we meet about half of the week. Our rooms are spaced out based on which one is meeting. Our Parchment Lounge does meet every Monday, but like our Rainbow Room meets the first and second Thursday. Violet Realm meets second and fourth Thursday, and so on and so forth. We always meet in the evening to accommodate people who work during the day. We understand that there are those who work at night as well, which is why we're hoping that we can also still do a virtual component as well once things kind of get a little bit more back to normal. Our concierges are members who come from the writing community. All of our current concierges were interested in their topics and became knowledgeable about their genres through writing, reading, and taking lessons of their own. Also, some of them graduated with degrees in their lessons. They are the heart and soul of the writers' rooms. Without them, our rooms would not exist. They volunteer their time to create lessons, lead rooms, host writing sessions, and reading social events, and even more. So I wanted to do a call out and a thank you to Patch Casey, Ross T. Byers, Derek Moore, Emily Schultz, Jolene Bukite, Maxwell Love, Eliza David, Michelle Forrester, and Bill Meyer. I wouldn't be here, and our organization would not exist without them. Now, a little bit about the publications we do and our anthologies. So we have published 3 anthologies: A New Adventure, Writers of the Depths, and Writers of the Aether. Our 4th anthology, Writers of the Flame, I think you can see a trend, is slated for a March 2022 release. A New Adventure features work by our original concierges. Writers of the Depths is water-themed, and Writers of the Aether is air-themed. We've sold our anthologies in local bookstores like Prairie Lights, M&M Bookstore, now Swamp Box Bookstore. All pieces are written by members of our community, those who have been published and those who have never been published before. For some of our writers, this is their first time seeing their words in a published book. All proceeds for these anthologies go back to supporting the writers' rooms. So these are the 3 anthologies that we've published thus far. I would have brought some here tonight, but we actually sold out of them at Icon this past weekend. So we're very proud of the anthologies. We're proud of all of our writers in there, and we can't wait to reveal Writers of the Flame next year. So these pieces are chosen and edited by our publishing committee. Sometimes they're a mix of concierges, and sometimes they're a mix of community members. This year, we turned our committee into a free internship opportunity for anyone who wanted to learn about the publishing process. So editing, book formatting, publishing, and marketing. Books are released both as ebook and paperback to try to have as much outreach as possible. And as someone who has trouble reading paper books, reading books online is easier on my eyes, so we want to make it as accessible as possible. You can get your copies through the bookstores listed, as well as through the writersrooms.org/store, Barnes & Noble, and Amazon. Submissions for our next anthology will open up in 2022 after we publish Writers of the Flame. One of the other things that the Writers' Rooms does is Imagine Other Worlds with Authors, Iowa, which is our big author signing event. So we inherited this in 2019 from Terry LeBlanc and Dana Beatty. They had been leading this writing event for a couple of very successful years and decided they were ready to hand it off to somebody that they trusted, and they thought our organization would be the place. Originally, it was just an author signing event. So everybody would come in, meet the authors, get the books, just a general type of convention feel. We decided to change it into a learning opportunity as well. So we now host author signings, panels, and this year we're introducing workshops. This is co-hosted with the Cedar Rapids Public Library. The first year we were able to hold it in person, but the last 2 years, this year included, we are holding it virtually to try to keep our community safe. Featured bookstores and libraries will be promoted on November 1st through the 5th, and then our featured authors for Iowa will be promoted on November 6th and 7th. So this is an example of some pictures from our first year at the Cedar Rapids Public Library when we can meet in person. So we had support from local authors, we had support from the local bookstores who donated bags, some free books and gifts, and we had an incredible panel of authors who talked about their craft. This year we're hosting on Facebook again at facebook.com/IAOtherworlds. For November 1st to 5th, bookstores and libraries will post videos about themselves, their stores, any special opportunities they have for authors and readers. We wanted to make sure that we didn't just celebrate our authors, but we celebrated the place that hosts the books, and make sure that the bookstores got support and our local libraries, who have been through so much as well during COVID, got support as well. On November 6th through 7th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., our authors will share a 20-minute live or recorded talk discussing things about themselves, their writing, and possibly sharing some of their writing with you. We will host panels on writing and literature, including a session on LGBT literature, which we're excited for, and writing strong female characters. We will also host workshops about Publishing 101 and Marketing 101 for anybody who wants to get into that. And of course, we're going to have plenty of giveaways, because who doesn't like free stuff? Below, you'll see a picture from the Cedar Rapids Public Library of some of the amazing items that they will be providing as gifts to some of our authors or some of our readers who attend. And me personally, this is cover of my book, which I will be offering a signed copy through Iowa. Our poster lists all of our information, so you can find all of this on our website as well under thewritersrooms.org/Iowa. Future goals of the Writers' Room. So some of our future goals is that we will gain a 501c3 nonprofit organization status. Right now, we're a nonprofit corporation, which means we can't do tax-deductible donations, but we want to get to that point. That is something that we are working on currently. We want to become a self-sustaining organization through generous donations from the community, anthology sales, Iowa, and other fundraising events. And I'd like to note that Iowa itself is free to the public who join us on Facebook. You come and you meet all the authors, you get all the free workshops and all the free panels. We just want you to attend and learn what we have to share and what our authors want to share with our readers. We also hope to provide virtual ways for people to join our meetings and events even after we return to in-person meetings. We hope that this will provide more accessibility to those who can't come to us or those who may not feel comfortable due to the pandemic. We also hope to create a dedicated diversity, equity, and an inclusion committee to make sure that we are providing adequate support to everyone in our community. How you can get involved. So there are a few ways that you can get involved. First of all, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter to get the latest news, information on where and when rooms are meeting, and what topics we're covering. Also, you can suggest topics that you'd like to hear about too. We're always open to hearing about those. You can attend the rooms either virtually or in person, depending on where we are. You can attend Iowa and get to learn about all of our authors and our free panels. You can attend readings. We actually have a 5th Monday reading at the end of November at Sanctuary Pub, where all local authors are welcome to come and join and share some of their writing with the community. You can become a concierge. This is a volunteer position, and I'm not going to lie that it is a lot of work, but it is work that is well worth it. You get to help host rooms for the community. You get to share your writing, your lessons, your ideas with them. You get to learn more about the other writers and encourage them to share their own lessons. And it's just a wonderful way to keep connected with the community. You can submit to or buy our anthologies. We're always looking for more authors to be part of our anthologies. You can become a patron through Patreon. Even $1 a month helps us keep all our fees paid for. Or purchase merch on Teespring. As you can see, we have a Writer's Room mug up there. We have shirts, we have stickers, we have more mugs, tote bags, sweatshirts, pretty much anything. And if there's something you'd like that's not up there, you let us know. We can probably create it. You can also donate to the writers' rooms. As I said, because we are a nonprofit corporation right now, it's not tax deductible, but we hope to get there. Our website has all the information and avenues in which you can donate, which includes PayPal, Ko-fi, I always forget if it's Ko-fi or coffee, as well as Cash App and PayPal, Patreon. Allocation of donations. These donations go to our 501c3 and additional legal accounting fees. They pay the Zoom fees for virtual meetings, so we can hold them for more than 45 minutes. They go towards helping us keep a presence in the community, so tables at Pride, Icon, etc. It goes towards a website and marketing upkeep, and it also goes towards our publications with the purpose of elevating local authors. Now, one of the questions people ask is, why does the writer's room matter? What's the impact that we actually have on the community? Well, in short, we create a free and safe environment for writers to come together. We serve as a healing space, both through therapeutic writing and finding a community when writers feel alone. We nurture creative minds who feel they have nowhere to go. And we're a place for writers, both new and experienced, to share their voices and their stories. These are some of the events where we've been at Pride, some of our Zoom meetings because of COVID, selling anthologies at Icon, some of our readings prior to COVID at the Cedar Rapids Public Library, at Sanctuary, and sessions we've even held here. Essentially, we are writers helping writers. And if you'd like to learn more, you can visit us at thewritersrooms.org. I appreciate your time, and I am welcome to questions.
I have a quick question about, so to join one of the online meetings, do you just go to the website and is there a Zoom link there?
We actually, that would probably be a good thing for us to do too. So we end up posting our links in our monthly newsletter that we send out. So you get all of the rooms, you get all of the links, all of the sessions. We also have individual Facebook groups on Facebook where we'll post links as well for those who maybe didn't see the newsletter. They can find us there as well. They can just click on the link and join us. We do have it password protected just so we don't have trolls coming in. Like I said, we want it to be a safe space.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. Do you guys ever, I know right now is a very tumultuous time,
right,
but in the future, do you guys ever plan expanding westward out into Des Moines or Ames?
There has been talk about that. We would love, the idea is once our rooms are solidly established here and, things are, I guess, a bit more normal. Eventually in the future, we would like to evolve to different locations, but have members there who would lead rooms. That way we can reach out to more members of the community in different Iowa towns. We're hoping that by making part of the rooms virtual and making our rooms themselves virtual, that'll at least start out with reaching out to people in Des Moines, Ames, and other locations. I know it's not the same as meeting in person, but we're hoping that it'll at least be a start, that people can find other writers that way.
Given the current situation with COVID-19, which I just want to say I'm grateful that you guys actually take it seriously.
Yes, very.
But do you guys have any timetable plans for when you would like start to reopen, or does it seem to? Because one thing I noticed with the rooms is that it seems to be that each room is kind of making their own decisions. Is that how you guys do things? Like each room makes their own decisions in that regard?
Yes. So what I wanted to do was leave it up to the concierges leading the room. I wanted to go by their comfort level of if they were ready to bring the rooms back in person. Meaning, our rooms are not meant just to be accessible to the community, but to our concierges as well. So I wanted to make it as easy and comfortable for them. In some cases, when it comes to the rooms in Cedar Rapids Public Library, some of our rooms are very eager to go back into person, but because of COVID restrictions, they are unable to do that right now. So timetable-wise, once the Cedar Rapids Public Library opens, I imagine the Cedar Room and even the Scarlet Boudoir hopefully will start meeting in person again. Ideally, Rainbow Room and Violet Realm will start meeting here again once numbers are better. We actually did try to start meeting in person again, and numbers shot up really quickly. So we decided, for the sake of our concierges and for our community, we would continue meeting virtually. So we want to make sure that it's up to the concierges and also up to our members, because even if a concierge is ready to meet in person, if it's clear our members really aren't, then we'll continue to go virtual.
I just moved here recently,
Yes.
like a few months ago.
Well, welcome.
From Portland, and I used to do many writing rooms there.
Yeah.
And I had some very great experiences. I also had some negative experiences, usually with kind of the people who were, depending on who was running the groups. I was just wondering if you could walk us through what the process would be for vetting a concierge, and like what if there's any kind of like responsibilities or processes that are held in like, just like, if you could walk us through how many concierges there are and like how you guys vet that process.
That's a great question. So what we're working on right now is, since we're kind of in a slight slow stage because of COVID and everything, is we're revamping some of our information and some of our requirements of concierges, especially if we're going to be asking for a virtual component. So what we generally do is someone will reach out and say, hey, I'm interested in potentially being a concierge. We will have a list of concierge duties. We would want to know what the concierge is interested in leading. We would have to find a location, a free location, because as of now, we can't pay for locations, and we are not going to require money from those who attend. So we would have to find a place that has no cover. We would give them the list of duties, and then I, as the director, as well as another member of the concierges or a couple members of the concierges would meet with that potential concierge, talk with them about expectations. There would be training. Patch Casey is actually our concierge trainer, so he would work with you on, here are the steps of what you would need to do, train you on the technology portion, so like using MailChimp and sending out newsletters for your room. And then if all goes well and it seems that the potential concierge would be a good fit for the room or for the group, we would set up a room. We would start announcing and publicizing the room to gain support and interest from the community. And then we would do a kickoff for it. And then from there, the concierge would, I won't say that the concierge will generally fly solo. There will be somebody else there who will watch over, make sure everything goes well. Ideally, we would have 2 concierges per room so that you would have more support, especially, I mean, we know how life gets. Sometimes the concierge gets sick, or they're busy, or they just need a mental health day, and we get that. So that's why we like to have 2 concierges if possible. Right now, we are looking for concierges to help fill some of our rooms that only have 1 concierge. So that's where the most help is needed at the moment. So I think we'll be focusing more on that, but we would love to open up more rooms based on what the community needs. But those are kind of the steps that we would go through. We would like to also, once we fine line our concierge list of duties, provide that on the website so those who are interested in being concierge could read through that before they decided to reach out and say, hey, I'd like to help, so they know what they're getting themselves into. But I understand, it really, how well a room or how well a writing organization runs does depend on the foundation and the backbone of the people running it.
Thank you. I'm sorry to ask so many questions.
Oh, no, you're more than welcome to ask as many as you want. That's why I'm here.
Final question. How many people would you say approximately are currently a part of the writer's room as a whole?
Our mailing list, I would say, goes out to probably around 500 people in the community. We don't see that many in the rooms, unfortunately, but again, we know that COVID has kind of turned everybody on its head and everything on its head. So we're hoping to get more. Ideally, we like to have around between 10 and 20 people in the rooms. That way we can have a really good discussion, but it's not too big where people feel like they can't talk. I know that the Parchment Lounge, because it's been meeting in person and it's in a more, it's in an eatery in a more public setting, they've actually had a steady group of, 10, 11, 12, 13 people there. And they're still getting more people coming in, which is fantastic. Some of our rooms have been a little bit quieter because I think people have gotten burnt out from the virtual component, but they also aren't ready to meet in person yet, which I totally understand. So we're trying to get the word out there that we are still meeting, we are still coming together, our concierges are still leading their sessions, and also get people encouraged to talk on Facebook too. We might not have a lot of people in our Zoom meetings, but we do have people still interactive on Facebook, posting writing opportunities that are out there, sharing their successes, which we always love, or talking about different things that they're working on. We try to encourage people to do that so they can stay in touch with us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
That's all I got.
Well, I thank you both. Thank you for coming, and thank you everybody for listening in. Again, if you have any other questions, you're welcome to email us at welcome@thewritersrooms.org. You can grab a card up here, sign up for our newsletter, as well as for any room-specific ones that you're interested in. I also brought an example of one of the lessons we teach, which is magic systems. So you're welcome to come up. So thank you very much.